that particular goal of being a YouTuber? Because there's many things you could have focused on. You could have been a video game player or whatever, but YouTube is a particularly interesting thing because you're on camera, people are seeing it, there's a metric which decides how successful you are. Was there any element of the on-camera part that was helping to solve for like the feeling of isolation that you seem to have at that time?
No.
Was there community?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with just, I found out that when I was at a young age, probably around 11, that there were YouTubers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And I was just like, oh, that's it. Like,
so it's the money.
Yeah, of course, because back then we didn't have money, and I really wanted to take care of my mom and just my family in general. So it was like everything. It was like, this is what I love doing. I've never had as much joy doing something as I do this. Plus, I could see a path where I could actually retire my mom, take care of her, pay her back for, you know, all the nights she worked so long, so we could live comfortably and things like that. So it's just kind of, the thing is, one thing that irks me is when people try to like put someone's motivation into like one little bucket. Like, we're very complex creatures, and like, you know, you have a girlfriend. I would never say, oh, you just like her because she's pretty, but you like her because she's pretty, but you probably also like her because she's smart. You probably also like her because, you know, she's fun to be around. She likes similar shows, blah, blah. You probably, if we sat here for 10 hours, you could probably give me 1,000 reasons why you like your girlfriend. Yeah. So it's like, it's very annoying when people try to put why you like doing a certain job or building a certain business into one bucket. Oh, you just do it because of money. What if I do it because I like money and I enjoy it, and it's a way to do this, and it's a way to communicate with people and community and these other things, you know what I mean? And I think that's a common flaw we try to do. It's like, it's not that simple.
I think it's a lot of people can't understand someone being so relentlessly focused on something with the level of like commitment and sustained commitment that you've shown.
Yeah.
And so,
and I don't know how I agree, because it's very weird, like how, like, I have extreme obsession to the point where like I just think about stuff the same. Like, for me, it's much easier to think about something 16 hours a day for 7 days straight than it is like to like gear shift constantly. I'm like really good at just obsessing over one thing more than anyone else on the planet. If I were to say what's my superpower, it's that I can just obsess endlessly about something, and I can just have the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. It's very weird. Like, it wasn't like it was work for me grinding YouTube for those 10 years or whatever where no one was really watching it. It's just like kind of who I am.
It would have had to have been a deep obsession because you were doing it when no one was really watching or paying attention, or really when the platform was...
There was literally a day when I was 19 or 20 where I woke up, joined a Skype call with my friends, and where we like were reverse engineering, you know, why certain videos do well or whatever. And I remember that call being over 18 hours long. And then I hung up, went to bed, woke back up the next day, and instantly got back on the call and picked back. Like, that was the level of like hours we were putting in. I mean, I didn't know anything besides just trying to make it happen. Was
there anything else that you showed that level of obsession to?
So at that age, no. I would say from 11 to 15, it was a mix of YouTube and baseball. But when I turned 15, I got Crohn's, and I went from like 190 pounds down to 139. I lost all the muscle I had, and so I was like, all right, I'm not playing baseball in college anymore. So then I was like, fuck it. It's just all in on YouTube. And then up until really Feastables, it was basically just YouTube. For whatever, I never thought I would find like this kind of love for I thought it was specifically video making, but I have found over like the last 2 or 3 years, just in general, I just enjoy entrepreneurship, and I've been really deeply loving getting like obsessed with Feastables and other things. And so, which was very weird. Like, when I first started a chocolate company, it was like kind of a side thing. But the more I started to work on it, I got a lot of the same highs I got when I was making videos, just in different ways. And so now I'm like, I know way too much about the chocolate industry. I'm like, it's pretty crazy. I never imagined I would have put the thousands of hours I've poured into building Feastables. And so I think just in general, I just really love solving consistent, complex, hard problems. I think that's like what gets me out of bed, and like the harder the problems, the more exciting it is.
Consistent, hard problems. I want to talk about that and also Feastables, but you mentioned Crohn's disease there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what that is and the impact it has on someone's life.
Are you aware of it?
I am, because I had a team member that had it. So in order to help support them at certain times when they had to leave and stuff like that, I got a little bit more aware of what it means and how it impacts you. But could you give me your perspective on that?
Yeah. So Crohn's disease is when your immune system attacks itself. So when I was 15, I just started going to the bathroom 8, 9, 10 times a day, not digesting any food because my GI tract is like literally just attacking itself. It's very weird. Your immune system in your gut thinks your gut is a foreign invader. And so it just starts attacking itself, which if you're just using the bathroom 10 times a day, not digesting food, that's why you drop weight rapidly. And it hurts like crazy because it gets very inflamed and it feels like someone's stabbing you in the gut with like a knife constantly when it's really, really bad, which is what I had. So I lost 50 pounds, which is crazy because I was already relatively lanky. And we were just trying different medicine. And then eventually I'm on a pretty extreme medicine called Remicade, where it just basically you nuke your immune system, which is why my voice sounds a little off right now because I just got the flu. I got COVID 6 times. I got shingles. Like I get sick all the time because for me to have my GI tract stop attacking itself, we basically have to shut down my immune system. So I have like a really weak immune system. So I just get sick all the time. Like, so I have like random rashes and things like that. So it's like, it was pretty brutal, to be honest. And then it randomly flares up sometimes and just makes you very sick, very tired. Like I just live life on hard mode, to be honest. Like if you wake up and you have energy, like you're already leaps and bounds ahead of me. Like it makes things way more difficult.
And so you still wake up with some days where you don't have energy.
Of course.
Which is really hard to believe for someone who's so productive for everybody looking on.
Yeah, you just got to really love what you do. I mean, and push through it. It's pretty brutal because then you compound that with always being sick. And I mean, yeah, I just spent 4 days in a hospital in South Africa because I got the flu, and it just takes me a lot longer to recover from certain things. So it's brutal. And that's where it's like, if I didn't work so much, I would spend more time researching Crohn's because surely there's a better way to stop it than just destroying my immune system. And ideally, I don't do that deep into my 30s and 40s. So I see it as a little bit of a Band-Aid. But, I've met with the top Crohn's doctors in the world. And so far, they're like, this is just the answer. And you're just lucky your gut isn't attacking yourself. But I don't know. I feel like the medicine they give people with Crohn's is kind of silly. And there's got to be a better way to treat it. I mean, the ultimate solution is they just cut me open and cut out a large part of my GI tract. And then there you go. But
I observed in the team member that I had that had Crohn's, just a bit of a mental roller coaster as well, because there's a certain unpredictability to it.
Exactly.
Which makes life...
Oh, it's even worse when you're filming because you got this huge multi-million-dollar set and 200 people waiting on you. And, sometimes you don't know if you're going to have a flare, but you just got to go fuck it and just down some caffeine and crank it out.
I got diagnosed with ADHD.
You did?
Yeah, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and it made me think a lot about myself and the way that I am. I'm not the type of person to like embody the label or think it really means much. Yeah. I am just who I am. Are you in any way neurodivergent?
I've been told, by a doctor I have ADHD. I mean, I'm not surprised because I just sit and obsess over things constantly. But I think I'm happy with however my brain is wired. I don't really care to change it. Like I said, I think one of my greatest superpowers is my obsession, and I think some people would view that as a weakness, but I just if you just think about solving problems 3 times more than everyone else, like you're bound to come up with different solutions.
That's one of the things you mentioned earlier. You like solving hard problems consistently. When you think back over the last 10 years of your life and the success you've had solving some of these hard problems, if you were to break it down into some core components of that you've learned, one of them is obsession that you've said.
Yeah.
What are the others?
I mean, it's all the typical stuff. Like you are obviously who you surround yourself with. And luckily I just got around the right people in my later teenage years because I feed off the energy of the people probably around me. It's so obvious. Like I start to talk like them. I become interested in the things they're interested in. I mean, this is all obvious stuff. I'm sure you've heard a bajillion times. So, but I always have to be protective of the people I'm around because whatever they say is what I start thinking on. And then that's what I start obsessing over. And, one of the best things that happened with Feastables is I just reached out to all the fastest growing chocolate companies, all the fastest growing snack businesses and everything, and just became friends with a lot of the founders. And, that's what would have probably taken me 8-9 years to solve. After 18 months, it was probably one of the top 10 people in the world when it comes to running a chocolate company and understanding it deeply just because it's just cheat codes.
What about detail? Sweating the small stuff. One of the things that I saw, I was reading that handbook that was leaked on the internet, and one of the things I saw throughout that was this real obsession with the 1%.
Yeah.
And the small stuff. How do you feel about this, by the way, and all of that stuff?
I wrote that with some of my employees when I was probably 22. So there are some things that I'm like, I read, I'm like, oh, wow, I was an idiot. But for the most part, most of it still stands the test of time. And I do think it's very helpful. You know, what's funny? A lot of CEOs have actually told me that they make their employees read this.
It went around all of our Slack channels. We all read it.
Which is funny because I'm like, damn, I should make an updated version of it. So everyone, but yeah, the thing is, it's the core crux of it is like extreme ownership and don't make excuses. And, you know, people always, yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of deja vu from when I was writing that. It was just a different time back then too, because I had no idea what I was doing when I was 21, 22. And I just found that I was constantly teaching people the same things over and over again. And it was always just like, take extreme ownership, take accountability. Like, sure, I guess it was out of your control, but it could have been in your control if you just thought through it more, if you just really cared. And that's what I was just trying to convey in it.
And the other thing that comes through in this, but also all of your work, is just this idea, something that I've learned from you just from speaking to you on the phone yesterday, that nothing is impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
And watching Beast Games over the last couple of weeks, but also speaking to some of your team, there's clearly this through line with everything that you do of like what appears to me to be extreme ambition. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't appear to be extreme ambition to you in the same way that it appears to be extreme ambition to me.
Yeah, I mean, does physics allow it? Then yes, it's possible. It just, do we want to put the time in? I mean, I feel like people overcomplicate a lot of things. And
is that something you've trained over time, or have you always thought that?
No, I think it's a good question. I don't know why, but when people tell me I can't do something, I don't know where this came from. It makes me just want to do it more, to be honest. If you tell me I shouldn't do something, that's fine. But if you tell me I can't, then it's everything in my body just wants to go, fuck you. I obviously can. I don't know if I should, but I can. And then I don't know. It's like the thing is, like, to go viral, you have to do something that's never been done before. I've told this story before of, like, you know, if you're driving down the road and you see a cow, who cares? It's a fucking cow. But if you're driving down the road and you see a purple cow, you're like, you've never seen that before, and it's something you weren't expecting. You're gonna go, holy shit. And you're going to go tell your friends about it. You're going to remember that. You'll probably even think about it randomly once every couple of years. Why the fuck was there a purple cow? And it's like, it's the same thing, just one was a little purple. And it, like, you can apply that same analogy to ideas. Like when you're scrolling through social media to find a video to watch, there's things that, you know, have been done before, you've seen. It's, you know, roughly similar to stuff before. You're just going to scroll past it. You'll never think about it again. Just like you'll never think about a fucking cow on the side of the road. And then there are ideas that are like the purple cow idea, which is what I try to do, which are things that make you go, what the fuck? I've never seen that. Like, I have to click this, or I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because, like, why is this video? No way they did this, right? But those typically are very hard, and usually to get that purple cow effect, they've never been done before. And if something's never been done before, there's usually a reason, because it's very fucking hard. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of have to train yourself to, like, not resent very difficult, complex, hard, original problems and actually run towards them, because those are the ones that, you know, tend to have more of the purple cow effect where people have to watch it. And viewership's very exponential. It's way easier to get 50 million views on one video than it is to get 1 million views on 50 videos, right? And so, and because it, like, kind of goes exponentially, and it's like, you know, pretty winner take all on the top videos, like, you just really have to lean into that purple cow effect, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. If you were to distill, then, say we were coming up with a new How to Succeed in MrBeast production handbook now, what would be the top 5, if I was applying for a job with you? What 5 characteristics would I need to demonstrate to be successful?
You gotta be very coachable, because whatever I teach you today is gonna change, you know, a year or two from now. Always learning, always improving. Coachable. A big thing for me is you gotta see the value in working here. Like, you really, this isn't like a job, this is a career. Like, if you don't, you know, realistically see a world where you're working for me in 10 years, then it's pretty hard for me to invest into you at the level I want. Like, I don't like training someone for 6 months. They work here for a year and then I lose them. What I like is I train someone for a year and then I get 9 years of dividends on the back end where they crush at their job, and I'm constantly paying them more because they're becoming more valuable with time. Like, that is like the 8th wonder of the world, is investing heavily in an employee and then they stick around for a decade. You know what I mean? It's like, there are some of my top guys that I spent 3 or 4 years in the trenches with, training and working with, you know, they're like Tyler, who writes a lot of my videos and directs them. I, probably talk to him 5-6 hours a day every day for around 4 years. And now, because I can't spend, he spends 100% of his time writing the videos, directing the videos, obsessed over that. Whereas I could theoretically max spend 5% of my time. So he's going to naturally just shit on me on it because he can spend way more time on it. And it's like, so, I have full faith in him, but the dividends that I get off of him after all those years of pouring all that time and effort into him, and now he knows exactly how I think, what I value, that I don't even really have to communicate with him. Sometimes I can just show up to film and like, I just trust that it's good, and I have a bunch of people across all my businesses like that it's like great. And if, in a world where Tyler's still working here 10 years from now, I mean, the amount of value out of someone like that is unfathomable. It is quite literally the eighth wonder of the world for a business. And it's like, that's what I want. But you only get those kinds of people, they see the value for, working for you. And so they have to like deeply believe like the more valuable I become to this company, the more I'll be rewarded. And they like actually want to dedicate their life to the business. So that's very important, because if I really don't get that vibe, then it's not fair to both of us, because I'm not going to invest in you like I should, because I don't think you're going to be here in 10 years, and then you're going to feel that. And it creates, so coachable, sees the value, obviously obsessed. I just don't like working with mediocre people. I mean, I really just can't stand it. It's the fastest way to make me depressed, is if I have to work with someone who's just not all in and just loves what they do. It's just a lot of, stuff like that I'm sure if you listen to like a Steve Jobs interview or something that he talks about, it's just the typical traits: obsessed, coachable, all in, sees the value.
And what is the single worst trait?
Mediocrity. I mean, it's just like, because they're not bad enough where you fire them, but not good. The problem is like, I mean, and you see it in full effect. Great people just love working with great people. They do. And there's something about being around great people that pulls some kind of animal out of you that just makes you want to do more and push more and believe things aren't possible. And I don't know, when you put me around a bunch of other successful entrepreneurs, I just turn into a different human than if you put me around, I don't know, a bunch of people who are just running small businesses and don't really care and don't really have much ambition. I'm like two completely different humans. And you see that same thing in full effect. You put a bunch of A players around more A players, they just build off of each other. But you like put 2 or 3 C players amongst a bunch of great people, and they'll start pulling them down. They'll start making them not want to work as much and make work not as fun. And so everyone knows, get rid of the C players, right? Obviously, get rid of people who aren't all in, blah, blah, blah. It's the ones that are like, they're not an A player, but they're not a C player. So it's kind of hard because you still feed off the energy. And if you get enough of them, it just drags the overall culture down. So those are like the worst. I mean, not everyone can be these like world-ending monsters. There are a lot of mundane things like, the book controller in accounting, probably doesn't have to be the best in the world. But, when it comes to like the mission critical things like making videos and things like that, just the great people got to be surrounded. Like that's one of your number one jobs as leaders, just to make sure your great people are working with other great people. Cause that's like the number one reason why people leave jobs isn't money. You know what I mean? That's like number 4 on the list. Don't ask me to list them all. I don't remember. I just know the number one thing is, do they enjoy who they're working with? And people will leave their job because they hate working with people way before they'll ever leave because of money.
Have you ever been frustrated that the people you've hired don't match your level of obsession?
No, because I just find the people that do.
Are there people that do?
Oh yeah, there's so many people at my business. Obviously you have to take care of them, pay them well. Like they're not the kind of people that'll just make the standard rate. But like people like Tyler, Klitzner, Russ, and even people on our editing team. They're putting in most weeks same amount of hours as me, and they're all in, see the vision. It's like it's hard to find those kinds of people, but when you do, you got to treasure them and recognize that they're unicorns. And you have almost roughly 500 people? Probably, I think the production company we're around 300, Feastables around 100, and then probably another 40, 50 scattered amongst everything else.
Most founders that I speak to describe scaling headcounts as the kind of worst part of the job. More people, more problems, right?
Yep, that's an understatement, yep.
Especially as someone like you who's a creative at heart and who is very focused and obsessed on, I guess, the show and producing, as you say often, I want to produce the best videos we possibly can.
Of course.
And then all this other shit comes with it, which is like HR, which every founder I speak to hates.
The worst part is I just have this very very rare opportunity where I have so much attention and so many people watch my content. And I just wish I had more experience building businesses. I'm only 26 and this is my first real business of every employee milestone we hit. It's my first time hitting that, right? Like when I hit 100 employees, that was my first time getting there. And this was my first time going from 100 to 200, 200, 300. And like with what I know now, I could have done it so much faster, obviously. And it's just, it's a little brutal because like scaling Feastables from, 0 to 100 was way easier than doing my production company because I had been through the ringer before and I learned a bunch and I get better with time. And it's just honestly, the most annoying part is just ignorance, right? Like, because a lot of mistakes I make, I look back and I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably should have brought in people with more experience working at a larger company earlier here. I waited a little too long here. I probably should have. And it's just like brutal because if I had known these things, I'd be way further along. But I mean, that's just how you learn. You just got to make 10,000 mistakes.
Every founder says the same. Every founder I've spoke to says the same. They're unknown unknowns.
Exactly.
Don't even know what
and it's just like, so that's where, I mean, my big thing recently has just been trying to find people who have successfully scaled businesses and like bring them into my organization and learn from them because I'm just so tired of like being like, fuck, I should have known better, but I didn't because I've never done this before. And so I'm trying to find a lot of great people who have been through it so they can like kind of mentor me along the way so I make less mistakes, which has been really good. We brought in a new C-suite recently. It's like always a hard balance because I try not to, in the past I've like, decisions are kind of like pendulums and I have a problem where I'll identify something and I'll overcorrect the pendulum one way and then I'm like, oh, no, I should have just stopped in the middle. Yeah. And like my overcorrection in the past was like corporate people try to build too many systems and they kill innovation. And so I was very anti like people with too much corporate experience because they're going to just destroy all the creativity. But, that's why we're making so many organizational fuck ups because we don't have anyone who's actually built the business at this size. And so, the pendulum was on the right and I swung it all the way to the left of no corporate. And now I think we're in the healthy medium where, obviously the people in our C-suite and the leaders should have lots of experience managing people at this size and scale. But it's just finding the right people who can do it and build systems in a way where it doesn't crush creativity and they actually value the product over ease.
The Diary of a CEO and I'm on a TV show called Dragon's Den in the UK, and my stuff is significantly smaller. It's like a percentage of your viewership. Uh-huh. But even I am slightly terrified with hiring people because it's quite clear to me that there's a huge incentive for anyone that I work with to say that I did something bad. And in the early days of my first business, what happens is the journalists go to everyone that works there and they ask them, what was he like? You have the same problem. You have the same conundrum where anyone has an incentive that works for you. When they leave, so many different incentives to throw an arrow at you on the way out the door. How do you contend with this?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head of, I have 400 or 500 people right now, but we've also worked with thousands of people in the past. And so I think it's just what comes with it. But at the end of the day, as long as what we're doing is moral and ethical, like you said, they're going to throw arrows, but I'm just a problem solver. It's like whenever I see the metaphorical arrow, I just go, what's the problem? And if we did something wrong, how do we fix it? Or if it's not an actual problem, it's just rumors. I mean, it is what it is. And so, yeah, I think it just comes with part of it. It sucks and it's unfortunate. But you also have to think like most people don't like their jobs too. And so it's not like this is even specific to our industry. Like, just go ask 100 random Americans of all the jobs they worked in their life, how many did they deeply enjoy and would they have nothing negative to say? So I think it's just part of it. It's almost like a pastime for a lot of people just to like trash talk their old jobs or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Has any of that stuff ever got to you? Any criticism?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, all criticism all the time does, but I mean, the thing is, independent of that kind of stuff, it's just like, we are averaging like 200 million views a video, most of it unique viewers. Like we're talking like 2+%, sometimes 3% of humans alive watch every piece of content I put out, depending on how well the channel's doing. And so like, that means like I could upload a video and then with 365 days later, you could grab 33 random humans anywhere on the planet, especially because we do dubs. What's even crazier is YouTube's not in China. So that's like 2 to 3% of humans alive, excluding China. Or China's mixed in there, but if you just take people excluding China, it'd be more like 3 to 4%. But you could just grab 33 random people on the planet, and one of them on average would have seen that video because the views are so fucking high. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of criticism that's thrown at me. And the thing is, since our stuff's so global, sometimes, transcends culture and not everyone views everything. And so everyone has different opinions and stuff like that, which is why it will drive you crazy at our scale if you try to make people happy. Because even if 99% of people are deeply happy, which is an insane hit rate. Like if you make a piece of content, 99% of people that watch it love it. That is wild, which that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But in our case, if just 1%'s unhappy, that's 2 million people, which is more than anyone else even gets on views on video. So, which will feel like an insurmountable amount of criticism and feedback. And it's very easy to like trick your mind into thinking, damn, everyone hates me, because you just, focus on the 1% instead of the 99. So I just came to the point where, I just have to have my own internal guidelines of like, do I think what I'm doing is good? Do what I think, is moral, ethical? Do I believe in what I'm doing? If so, fuck it. Like, I'm never going to be able to make everyone happy.